All right, so let us look at configuring actual client access in our environment. Flex Connect, open or WPA2 or pre-shared key authentication, locally switched and authenticated, meaning we are not going to anchor out. This is going to be locally switched directly out of our environment. So where do we go to connect to configure this? Well, if we're locally switched and locally authenticated, let's take a look. First off, we're in wireless LANs, right? That's where we define this. Let's look at a wireless LAN 1. You can see our general profile. We can see security. We can take a look at our security WPA2 policy, WPA2 policy, AES. Where is our locally switched configuration? Here's our radius server. We can enable a radius server if we wanted to, but that's not what we're doing. We're doing locally switched environment. We have policy mapping, advanced. Where am I supposed to go, folks, for Flex Connect configuration? General, nothing's here. Is it under advanced? Maybe. Let's take a look. AP groups. AP group. Maybe we go to our preference mode, IPv6. Wireless LANs, RF profile, APs. I don't see any Flex Connect. How about you guys? 802.1u? No. Operating class not listed here. General. I'm not hearing a lot of confidence coming over from your side there. So wireless LANs, let's jump. I'm going to go back to wireless LANs. We see the different groups. Let's jump out into the slide and pay close attention again. Wireless LAN. We can see off-channel scanning defer. We're going to defer scan. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking right here under Flex Connect. Okay, so let's try again. Wireless LAN. We're here. Are we in advanced maybe? Could it possibly be that we are in advanced? Off channel, Flex Connect, and there it is. This is what we're looking for right in here. Now, local authentication and local switching. So if we enable here and we enable here, we are authenticating and we are switching directly from the AP into our local wired environment. We are not using a CAPWAP tunnel to go back to that wireless LAN controller at all. There's no anchor in this environment. So we're done. We have enabled this. Now I need to set up local authentication, and I need to make sure that local switching is enabled too, which requires a what? Local VLAN. Like we said in the last slide, we have to have that local VLAN enabled to be switched out up into our environment. So great job, everyone. I'm glad we found it. I was worried there for a moment. But still, it's good to know where it is. It's good to go through this exercise. If you're in your environment now, you're playing around as you're listening to my voice, go ahead and take a look at this. Don't make any changes to your live production environment, but know where the settings are. All right, so we've configured that portion. Now we need to make sure that what? Our native VLAN matches what? What did we say our native VLAN had to match? It had to match the what? Management VLAN of the wireless LAN controller. So our wireless VLAN mapping ID should match. So here you can see the native VLAN is 12. And if we jump down here, we can see PodFlex, VLAN ID, PatNat, AP specific is 15. So we have to make sure that there's something going on. There's a way that we can connect to each other. So here we see our VLAN mapping. Let's jump out into our environment and do this. But really quick, I want you to notice that this is for all APs, centralized APs. Mine's a little different for VLAN mappings, and I'll show you that in my environment. So your model may have a little bit of difference to it. Now here you can see where wireless and wireless VLAN mapping, or not wireless VLAN mapping, but wireless LAN VLAN mapping. You can see our VLAN support, override VLAN on an AP, our wireless ID or VLAN ID. This is all under Flex Connect groups. Now, if we were going to go out to our actual APs and take a look, our all APs where that other configuration was, you can see here I don't have an AP name for this. If I clicked on an AP and we looked at our different interfaces, we can see that I have Ether channel interfaces, CDP configuration, but I don't have exactly that VLAN configuration we saw in the other environment. do have the ability for Flex Connect VLAN templates. That is a list that we can create. We can start with a VLAN template name. I'm going to name this example so we can jump into this here at the VLAN template example. We're going to go ahead and click apply. When we click apply, I click on this VLAN template. I can now create these mappings. So VLAN ID, let's say this was our management VLAN. So I would map this to our native VLAN for this group into another one. So then our native VLAN in this group, if I move it or whatever I'm going to do, click apply, and we see we have a VLAN ID now mapped to a particular Flex Connect group.